played 3 senior years at Deniliquin. That was finished in 81. Came down, recruited down to Geelong, was 82, had a year at 82, then a pre-season the following year. Broke a wrist, had a bit of an operation, so I came across to West, played at West in 83 and 84. Then went to Newtown, played 85 to 88 at Newtown. Recruited across to Werribee and played 89 at Werribee. Back to Newtown and played 90. And then Coach Bowen heads from 91 to 93. I ended up having an ankle reconstruction, and that was the end of my career then. Probably played most of my football in the early days. The kids, I was more an on-baller. Just probably because of my size originally as a kid through under 18s on ball. And then when I played my first 3 years at Deniliquin seniors, I played on a wing, probably a little bit light framed, and read the ball reasonably well, and probably ran a straight line most of my career. So that's probably the type of football. I'm not sure what everyone else would sort of think, but I tend to think that I was probably an in and under type of player. I thought I tackled pretty well for my size, competed pretty hard. Probably lacked a bit of genuine pace, but mobility-wise, I was reasonably light on my feet. Moved around, enjoyed, always sort of kept pretty fit, and fitness was always probably one of my strengths a little bit. That I always knew I could probably run most games out pretty well, so if I ran my opponent around a lot and competed pretty hard, I was pretty confident that I could sort of last most games out. So that's probably type of. I didn't mind trying to go for a leap sometimes, but I was probably not quite tall enough to get him. But everyone loved a bit of a chance to go for a bit of a grab. Probably not as good as Mel Eddy. Mel Eddy was a ripper, had a huge leap on him, and could always take that big mark in the goal square. So we always probably thought we could have a crack here and there at going for a grab. My first year at West was 83. I ended up coming across to West. I'd had the year before at Geelong. David Harris, Darky as we called him, coached me at the Geelong Reserves. I did a pre-season. I had a bone graft on my wrist. Had a sort of tried out at Geelong, but it got cut then. And Darky had rang me. I can't remember what day it was. It was like a Tuesday or something. I think they come in and said you're no longer required. So that was it. Come across to West. David was here, and I didn't sort of realise. I knew it was reasonably good football. I didn't realise how good a club West turned out to be for me personally. With 83, we rocked up, and there was a lot of young boys and young players there that were turned out to be lifelong friends. I'm still good friends with them now. We came together, played pretty reasonable football during the year, ended up making the grand final. I still remember I think it was one of the prelims, Darky walking in with the record, and he threw the record on the table. And I might have been leading up towards the grand final because we'd played Port Melbourne, and they'd already sort of had their mind made up that they thought Port had beat West and go straight in the grand final to play Preston. But we ended up beating Port Melbourne. It was a bit of an upset, but we thought we had a good enough side to push any side that year. We went in the grand final, played Preston. I think we kicked pretty bad that year, and it was a very close game. We ended up losing. I think it was by 5 points in the finish. And I think we kicked. I'm not 100% sure of the score, but I think we kicked about 15 points or more. And it's probably one that got away that we should have won. The more you think about it in later years, that at the time you think it's going to come each year. Each year you turn up and play that. We had a good side. And I think Fraser Murphy went the following year to Carlton. We had Joe Radojevic. There was a heap of players. Mark Dallahouse, Mark Brown. There was Stephen Sells. Brett Tawney, Mel Eddy. There was Sylvester Krantz. There was Jan Smith. There were just good players all over the ground, and it was probably one that we look back now that we probably should have won. Preston had a great side. Ray Shaw coached them, and they just had good experience all over the ground, and it was just our kicking, I think, that cost us in the finish. But the years at West, and I remember after that grand final on the bus on the way home, we're all pretty dejected, and we get back to the West Town Hall, and I remember walking in and there was probably 2,000 people there, or 3,000 people there. It was amazing, the number of people that turned up, and we were sort of disappointed, and I still remember being introduced on the stage, and there was just, it was for a losing grand final. It was just a number of people that turned up and supported West, and that night I still remember it, how good it was, and I imagine what it would have been like if we'd won. But that's how it goes. West, I remember coming across, and I lived at Geelong. I'd lived in a footy house, and there was about 18 young blokes that used to be the Geelong zone area, so they recruited the boys down, and it was sort of that, if you didn't make it at Geelong, the boys had come across because it was still great football, 16 aside, and to play it was a really good standard, and every club sort of had the ex-league players came back and played. So, and that was I wanted to try and play the best football I could still play. So, and I knew that there was a few of the boys that were already across here at West. So, we turned up, and it was. I still got a soft spot. You come back in the rooms and you still remember the enjoyment, and it was probably more. It felt like that the players all turned up and wanted to play for the club. It wasn't like the club owed us. We actually owed the club for, to turn up and play. It was good football. Great lot of people. I know Darky, to me was a great coach. He got the best out of everyone. It was sort of roll your sleeves up and turn up and work hard, and that's how I think we sort of approached that year and made the final. Like I said, it was disappointing. And the following year, I think you think it's sort of going to happen, and we had another good year, but as we sort of got up to the preliminary final, I think we were limping over the line. We had a stack of injuries. I know I missed the preliminary final. I'd ripped my groin, and I think it was just, that's when you realise that the year before we probably should have grabbed that chance that, you think it's going to happen every year, but it didn't. We were just limping over the line badly at the finish. I remember Billy Goggin giving me a call that West were just struggling a little bit with numbers, and I think they had missed a few games at the start of the year because of some sort of strike, and then Billy rang to say that I think he approached the GFL to see if he could get permission to get some players to fill in and make up the numbers to get through that year. So I think I played about 5 or 6 games. I played at Newtown on the Saturday, and then Billy would give me the call on the Saturday night, and he'd pick me up the Sunday morning. I think there was, sometimes there'd be 6 or 8 players from all different clubs in the GFL. We'd get picked up and we'd go and play on the Sunday. I remember one night in Newtown we had a reasonable win, and I think it was about 6 or 7 beers, and Billy had rang late to say, "You better stop drinking. We need you for tomorrow if you can." I said, "Yeah, no worries, Bill." So that was finish up, and he'd pick me up next morning, and off we go. So at the time, I remember Kevin Higgins was coaching Newtown, and when Billy first asked me, I went to Kevin and sort of said, I'd like to play. I had sort of, good memories and fond memories of West, so to be able to come back and play and fill in there, I wanted to play. So Kevin was really good, Newtown really good. They just said, "It's your call. If you want to play, that's fine." And he sort of joked, "Just don't get injured." But we'll probably thank Newtown and Kevin for the opportunity there to come back, because it was good fun and good memories to come back, and it was a few of the boys that I played with prior. We come back and we end up winning a couple of those games, and it was good fun. So that was another nice memory from those days. You talk about the players, and I remember I met my wife. I think I went out with Selzy one night, and we ran, and I met this girl, and ended up now my wife, and we've got 4 kids. I remember meeting her, and I remember coming back to West, and then having the discos and the nights on the Sunday night were, I still remember, it was great fun. All the players played hard, and it was good entertainment and good fun afterwards. Trying to think, and then Graham Flowers, which is a well-known name at the West Oval here. Graham, I was working, doing odd jobs and around Geelong, trying to get some work, and I remember Graham gave me the opportunity to go in partnership with him, and I worked with Graham for 15 years with Bell and Fulton, just building new homes. So, you know, you still think back, that opportunity came from being at Western, and it sort of set me up for the rest of my career. I'm still building and working for myself. And Kevin Kirby, the people that were around, they're still around West, you know, some fantastic names there, and it's good fun, and I've still got a soft spot for my years at West.
You've given your heart to get here, and your soul to get it right. You can take 'em boots and all, but it's sure gonna take a fight. When you spend all week getting to your peak, you're gonna have your say. You bet. On Sunday, it's the Bftp. It's Sunday, you're gonna make your play.